Hi guys, I am Regan Albunsalan and today we are going to talk about wavelength and frequency.
The longest wavelengths in the spectrum, ranging from the size of a football to longer